Welcome to the Audience Converter Podcast, the podcast for converting your audience from strangers to loyal fans. We dive deep and discuss how entrepreneurs, consultants, and coaches can level up their business to help more people in the world. Now here's your host, the creator of the Audience Conversion Method, Kimberly Weitkamp.
Are you a community leader who's looking to really build your community through the power of email? It's the first chance you have to get in front of the right people, and you should make the most of it. So many community leaders take the template approach, and you've lost your community before they've even found you. How about crafting the perfect welcome series instead? You can grab my guide, Crafting the Perfect Welcome Series, at theaudienceconverter.com/giveaway. Discover the tips and tactics I use to help my clients get up to an 80% open rate. When people open those first few emails, they're more likely to continue opening your messages, engaging, and buying from you. Build your community the right way with a welcome series that converts. Grab your copy at theaudienceconverter.com/giveaway. Hello, and welcome back to the podcast. I am so excited to talk with you today about what's been going on in the world, in business and marketing, and why there's been a hiatus for those of you who are listening along at home. So if you have been following the podcast since the beginning, you've noticed we've had a few weeks of skips. And this is why I am so excited to talk with you today, because I want to talk about, setting your own boundaries and how to combat overwhelm and what is okay for you to do. I feel as entrepreneurs, as coaches, as people in this online world space, a lot of us have this idea that other people get to decide what our schedule looks like. And other people get to decide what success looks like, and other people get to decide what is and isn't okay. And one reason I'm really excited to record this episode for you today is that I want to break those myths, right? I want to debunk those. I want to show that, we're all human. We're all human. We have human concerns. We have human lives, and not everything can be done on automatic. So the last episode that we put out, we're talking about our brand new branding for the podcast, and it's gone through a couple more iterations. And that's a story for another time. But what I really want to focus on today is why there's been a pause and what to do when you're overwhelmed, and why it's okay to acknowledge that and keep going, keep moving forward to be the best person you can be in your business and in helping other people. So you might have noticed there has been a pause in new episodes. We've been doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes to get ready for 2022. And there's a lot of really exciting and brand new things coming up. We're going to have a couple of 3-day workshops. We're going to be offering more of our half-day workshops. We're opening the doors to more people who need support throughout the year, and various ways that we can do that. And in order to put all of that in place, a few things needed to happen. There's a lot of marketing. There's a lot of content. There is a lot of planning and strategizing that goes in to launching new things, to doing new things. For example, I've got a giveaway coming up next year. I'm going to gather some really great and wonderful, fantastic tools and trainings for my people, for my audience, to help you grow your business, not only in writing the right copy for yourself, but in so many other ways. And to prepare for that, there's a few things that need to happen. First, you have to name your giveaway, and you have to define who the audience is. And then you have to compile a list of the people who would be a good fit. And then you have to reach out to all of those people with a message to get them on the phone, or just to have them just say, yes, I am interested. I want to learn more. I want to participate. And then you need a sign-up page for the contributors to create. You have to create that sign-up page so they can contribute. And then you have to create a shopping cart. So in order to create the shopping cart, you have to create an item in your shopping cart that has all of the details and has the pricing. And then you have to connect that to your payment processor. And once you do that, then you have to create the actual shopping cart experience. And of course, you have to create the connection from the shopping cart to the page as well. So somebody can go to your page, they can sign up, they can give you your payment information, and then you have to gather the information from them. So, the name of their gift, their business, a headshot, all that kind of information. So we need a way to gather that information. And then we also need a way to follow up with people, right? Not everyone is able to submit that information within 30 seconds of signing up. So we need a couple of messages to send out to our contributors to say, hey, reminder, we still need your stuff. And then, of course, we have to build the page to have people sign up for the giveaway. You have to build the page that has all of the content of all of the gifts. You have to build the thank you pages. You have to build all of the emails that connect everything. And there's a lot more that goes into building that, but you get the idea. It's a huge, big, involved process. And it's something that I feel a lot of people, we kind of overestimate how much free time we have and underestimate how long things are going to take. The rule of thumb that I have heard among people is 30%, right? You estimate how long it's going to take you to complete a task. Like, I think it's going to take me 10 hours to set this up, and then add 30% onto it. So not 10 hours, it's actually going to be 13 hours. And that's how much time you have to find in your schedule to make sure it actually happens. So coordinating a giveaway, reworking our 3-day workshops, coordinating a couple of opportunities to share with you, creating a new course, uploading and upgrading the podcast and relaunching it. All of these things were happening at the same time while I was working with clients to create 3 separate launches. So needless to say, I had kind of overbooked myself. And you know what? I had to take a step back. So I took a step back and I evaluated, all right, what can I put a pause on? What is it that I can say, you know what? I want to still use this. I want to still have this out there, but I am only one person. I only have so many hours in the day. And you know what? Sleeping and eating and spending time with my family is really important to me. So those things cannot be cut from the schedule. So I took a moment to evaluate. And you know what? This is a great lesson for the end of the year, right? We're almost near the end of the year. If you're listening live, it's 2021. If you're listening in the future, this was the end of 2021. And it's a great time to sit back and just evaluate. Go back, look through your last year and say, you know what? What worked? What didn't work? What did I want different? What would I like to have changed? What is out there that I could really benefit from adding or subtracting from my business? So I did this in October. I took a moment to evaluate and I was like, you know what? I'm really excited. I'm so excited to be able to relaunch the podcast, to have it more, to have it more focused, to be letting people know about this, to do a huge campaign so that everyone knows about this new focused podcast that we're putting out there with the strategy sessions and with the free coaching opportunities and with the same really great high quality guests that are going to be coming on. And I said, you know what? I really want to do this right. I want to do this right. I don't want to rush this. I don't want to put 5% of my effort and concentration into this because I have so many other things going on. So instead of putting out subpar content, instead of doing something that would lessen the value of the brand and the value of the content that I put out, instead I hit pause. And that's a good thing. I still ran the regular social media promotions for past episodes. I still gave people access to being able to see and hear and learn about things through the podcast. I still directed people to past episodes for particular questions they might have had, because I had built a library of over 100 episodes for people to pull from, for people to realize that they had some really great content. But at the same time, I wanted to respect you, my listener. I wanted to respect you, your time, and what you've come to expect from the show. And I was not able to sit down and record and interview people for a good 7 weeks. So instead of trying to rush and get the brand new content out for the podcast, I hit pause. And that's okay, because by hitting pause, what I did was keep the integrity of what I believe in. I believe your marketing should not be a last-minute decision. If you approach everything you do when you put out marketing to promote anything that you're doing, whether it's a podcast interview you went to or it's your brand new launch, if you only dedicate your final 5 minutes of the day to putting this in place, then it's not going to benefit you. It's not going to be as powerful for you. It is not, unfortunately, going to give you the kind of returns you need to be growing and scaling your business. So I want you to take a moment and just think through, what are all of the things that you're doing? And do those things directly translate to conversations, clients, or cash? Conversations, clients, or cash are the tasks that you're doing in your marketing translating to that. And if they're not part of that process, then why are you doing that? Why are you putting forth the time and energy and resources to be creating all of this stuff if it doesn't tie directly into landing more conversations, clients, or cash? Which incidentally is the name of the brand new podcast. It is the Conversations, Clients, and Cash podcast. That's going to be our brand new name. It's aimed at coaches who want to connect, cultivate, and convert their communities through the power of marketing and copywriting to really make a difference, make an impact, improve their business, their community, and their lives. And I'm so excited to be launching this brand new focus. Right, we're going to have a huge campaign at the end of the year. If you're listening in, if you found this episode a few days before that, kudos to you. You're getting a sneak peek behind. Congratulations. And, it's the 3C podcast. So one of the reasons, though, I think we should stop and evaluate, right? It's the end of the year. It's a great time to do it. But if you are listening to this episode in April, this is also a fantastic time to do this, because often what happens is we plan and then we execute, but then we forget to evaluate. And if we put all of our time and energy into planning how we're going to do our marketing, into executing our marketing, but then we don't go back and see what worked, we can never know if our marketing is effective. So a huge important part is the evaluate process. And so many people don't do it. So, just a little behind the scenes on what I did. I sat down and I evaluated what my client journey looked like and how podcasting tied into that. I sat down and evaluated time commitment. And one of the really important things for me was I sat down and evaluated energy commitment. Right? I love podcasting. I love talking to you about all the wonderful and fantastic things that you can do in your business and how marketing can work for you. And it doesn't need to be difficult or hard. I love talking to my guests and meeting them and getting to know them and learning about their business and what's working for them and having them share such valuable knowledge with you. But you know what? It takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of energy. I love it. I love talking with people about this, but I am one of those people who has a reservoir of energy for talking with people. And then once it's empty, it's empty. And because I was focusing so much of my creative energy on writing the 3 launches, one of which I just want to give you guys an idea as to how involved and multi-layered a launch can be. I just turned in the master copy document for one of the launches, and it did 150 pages of copy. It's a lot of copy. And that's what I was focusing a lot of my time on. So I didn't have the creative energy to focus on podcasting because I was doing 3 of these launches at once. So also evaluate where your best use of your time is, right? Obviously, you want to make money, so you have to work on client stuff, but you want to grow your business too. And there were other things I was doing to grow my business. There were other things I was doing to coordinate. So that wasn't going to work quite as well. So the reason why a pause is okay in your business, and it's okay to take a moment to evaluate, is because once you've done that, you are going to find so many opportunities for more improvement. And I don't mean an opportunity for yet more things to add to your to-do list. I mean opportunities for you to maximize what you're doing, to really create what it is that you want to create, to build the type of business you want to build for your company, for your clients, for the impact you want to make in the world. So what I recommend is right now, take a pause. Take a pause, put a pause on everything you're doing and take a day or two to evaluate. How is this tying into my business? How is this helping my business? How is this landing me more conversations, clients, or cash? And if it's not, evaluate if it's still worth your time to be doing it. And if it's one of those things you're like, yeah, but you know what? I still need this to happen. I would challenge you to really justify why that still needs to happen. And if it does, then discover how you might be able to hand that off, either to a software, to an automation, to a person. Really, really take a moment and decide, is this really something that absolutely needs to be done in your business? And you are going to discover so many missed opportunities. that may take 5 minutes to implement. They may take 5 hours. They may take 5 days. And then, of course, you get to decide, right? What is that going to look like? So before we wrap up for today, I want you to also take a moment to really start setting your boundaries. One of the things I find so many of my clients tell me when they come to work with me is, yeah, I would love to do that, but I have to do X, Y, Z. Or I would love it if I could only follow your structure for your day, but I've got all of these clients who behave like this and I can't make that happen. So I want to challenge you to set your own boundaries, to set how it looks to work with you. And here's what I mean by that. I have people who are like, yeah, there's so many of these great and wonderful 3-day events going on, but I always seem to have, a person that's got to meet every Thursday or something, so I can never go to them. I said, okay, well, what about once a month choosing a day that it's not going to be a Thursday? Or talking with your clients and saying, hey, you know what? I want to attend this event so I can better serve you. So would it be okay if we move? Or I gave you an extra session at a later date? Most people say yes, right? I wanted to take a vacation this summer. I wanted to take a few weeks off just to lounge around and read and hit the reset button for myself and get some relaxation in. So I was hosting at the time. I have a year-long program, and that includes monthly trainings, and it includes monthly group calls, and it includes monthly one-on-one sessions. And I wanted to go on vacation. I didn't want to have all of those things on my schedule because I wanted to take the time off. So I spoke with my clients and I said, you know what? I want to make sure I can serve you fully. I want to make sure that you are getting the best benefit and my undivided attention. And, it's summer, things are finally opening up. It's a great opportunity for me to take a break so I can come back and serve you even better. You know what I found? Most of my clients were wanting to take a trip too. They wanted to take their first vacation in years, which they were able to do because they were working with me. They were able to finally take a vacation, which was incredibly exciting for me. Incredibly exciting for me. I was so excited for them. But by speaking with my clients and negotiating the boundaries, we were able to make it work so that everyone had that time off and everyone got to benefit. And it doesn't have to be something that's complex, that's that difficult. I've had people who say, yeah, I always have to go to these networking events and they're just so early in the morning. And then I feel like my day doesn't go well. And I said, okay, so if that networking event takes place in the morning, is there something similar to it? Or is that networking event hosted at another time during the day? Could you choose one of those slots to go to instead? And if not, really evaluate, okay, I've been to this networking event. I've been, for 6 months. What are your results? Is it working for you? You may find the one you go to at 7:30 in the morning hasn't actually resulted in anything. And part of the reason is probably because you're not a morning person. So if that's the case, then maybe you should stop going to that networking and choose a different one that's at a better time for you and your brain and your ability to interact and build your business through connections and networking. So setting your boundaries brings its own wins because you get to capitalize on your best times. There's this phrase I heard the other day called chronotypes. You work best at specific times of the day. And I've talked about this before about, finding when your peak creativity and your peak, well, this is the best time to just, copy paste something or to visit a Facebook group. And it's so powerful when you're able to set your boundaries by that. That's why I love my calendar link. No one can book a call with me before 10 a.m. It's not possible. Why? Because my booking link doesn't have times before 10 a.m. Because if somebody books my time before 10 a.m., I'm not able to write as much. I'm not able to put forth the right effort. And then it throws off a schedule as well for other things that need to happen throughout the day. So what are your boundaries? What do you need to put in place? And before you start thinking to yourself, well, if I put those boundaries, I'll do that when I have the ability to support that. And there's a law, I forget the name of it. I think it might be Murphy's Law. If anything's going to go wrong, it will go wrong. There's another law that says, as much time as you give for something, that's how long it's going to take. Right? No matter how much time you allot to a task, that's how long it's going to take because you've given it 10 hours. So if you put the task of, I'm going to reorganize my schedule when I'm able to, or when I have the extra money to, or when I finally have the time, you're never going to have the time. It's never going to happen. So if you want to schedule where you're off every Wednesday afternoon because you want to go for a massage, you have to start building it now. You have to build that block out so no one can book a time. No one can book a time. You can't get ongoing clients during that time because you're always going to be busy. Even if the booking the massage part hasn't happened yet, you have to have that in place. So setting your boundaries can bring a lot of wins for you. It can bring a much better ability for you to find your peak times, get a lot done. Those are some of the scheduling hacks I use for better productivity. And I really want you to take a moment to evaluate, why you might want to pause in your business, how to put a pause in place. And in our next episode, we'll talk more about these types of ideals. But I want to thank you all for listening. And if you're looking for tools and tips and tricks on how to put some of these things in place, do check out the show notes. Of course, go to theaudienceconverter.com. You'll always have more information on the website. If you're looking to book one of those marketing strategy sessions, that's in the show notes as well. And if you're looking for a tool to help you be even more concentrated in short bursts, there's a link to my favorite productivity app. It's the music that makes your brain work better, and that is Focus at Will. And there will be a link to that in the show notes as well. So thank you so much for listening to today's episode of the Audience Converter Podcast for Community Leaders. Next episode, we will have changed our name. So kudos to you for catching this one. And I am so excited to be on this new journey with you. Until next time, keep calm and give yourself a pause.
Thanks for listening to the Audience Converter Podcast. For more information and important links about today's show or for access to our website, visit theaudienceconverter.com. Take a moment to rate and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts.